Alrighty, while this is loading, I'm going to go ahead and do a very short video. Unfortunately, I've lost hours and hours of footage of me working on motherboards. There's the capacitors there. Long story short, I worked on 6 motherboards, got 2 working, this being one of them. Out of the other 5, and the other one that I got working, well, I'd say that's pretty decent considering I only paid $5 for the whole lot of motherboards, and I've still got like 20 to work on. I'll go ahead and log in real quick. So, I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to bring that particular video to you guys, but I do still have more to work on, and, well, I've learned my lesson. The video editor that I was using had the capability of backing up projects, which I did regularly, but unfortunately after I lost my OS hard drive and reinstalled and got my video editor back up and running, it couldn't read the backups. Don't ask me why, it just couldn't. So this thing, another video that I shot and lost, I completely refurbished this. I replaced the capacitors. The original power supply was dead, so I put a 250 watt flex ATX power supply in here that I had to customize in order to fit. I had to machine some holes in the side of it in order to fit, to reroute the cables through, because, well, it's pretty much butted right up against the side there, and that's where the cables used to come out, so that wasn't going to work. For the moment, I have a 80 gig standard IDE hard drive. I think it's a Seagate Barracuda. Doesn't really matter. It is what it is. It's functional. And a GeForce FX 5500 PCI. This computer only has PCI, no AGP. This little aluminum bracket here, which is kind of hard, that is a separate piece. It's kind of hard to tell on the video, but it is. Had to source that from Spain, of all places. And I had some trouble with the IDE cable for the hard drive. It was shorting out and preventing the motherboard from booting. The case was also kind of gross. I fixed that. This was drooping down. I fixed that. Have a custom Windows 98 badge, and over here is going to be a Voodoo sticker. I'm hoping to get a Voodoo 3 crammed into this case, but I'm not terribly hopeful about that. I might have to go with like a Voodoo Banshee or something. Here. This is a Matrox G450. Now, right about there is kind of how it would be mounted in the case, and this is a very short graphics card. Inside there's about maybe this much more space for another graphics card. So, about 7.5 inches, maybe. It's not much. Actually, do I have a tape measure around here? I don't think I do. Let's find out how long that is. Yeah, it's about 7 inches. So, I'm not able to show the fixing, as it were, but once I get that Voodoo card, I'm going to take this all back apart and show you how unbelievably cramped it is inside there. Anyway, let's get a game fired up. I've only got one on here right now because it's kind of a pain in the butt to get games onto Windows 98, and this shortcut doesn't work because of how it was moved over. But let's see. That's not it. System. I'm looking for the actual game file. There we go. Wait, yep. Direct 3D. Oh, I do want Glide, but can't do it yet. Gotta wait for the Voodoo. Also got a nice little sticker on there too. Thought that was kind of appropriate because it's an absolutely tiny computer. So let's see. New game. Start. Oh no, the camera controls are inverted for this when it first starts, aren't they? I hate that. Are they? Yep, they are. God damn it. It runs beautifully at the moment. You know, it is what it is. Not much more to show. I'll go ahead and close it. Like I said, I'm going to switch the 5500 out for a Voodoo, either a Banshee or a Voodoo 3. There's no way I'm going to fit a Voodoo 5 in here. I'm also thinking on doing a side grade for the CPU. Right now it has a 1.1 GHz Celeron, but I want to put a 1 GHz-ish Pentium 3. Now I've heard that the main difference between the Pentium 3 and the Celeron is its cache, but another thing to consider is SSE. I've heard that the Socket 370 Celerons don't have a proper implementation of SSE, or any implementation, depending on who you ask. I don't know, I'll have to look that up. But in the meantime, those are the projects that you missed. Projects that will be coming up and will be properly handled because I'm switching video editors to Sony Vegas Pro. Is when I do get a Voodoo card, I'm going to put that in there so you'll be able to see the insides, the guts as it were. My year 2003 server build is still coming. I just need to source a case for that. Go ahead and shut this down. I've got a few other things coming up that I still need to iron out the details before I make any promises, so I think I'm going to keep those to myself. But I will be working on more motherboards, and I have a sort of a plan on how to fix a camera up here somewhere, looking down at the table while I solder. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I know this hasn't been a terribly interesting video, but I wanted to put an update out there of why things are coming along slowly, but you know, I've learned my lesson, and apparently don't use the backup solutions that come with your video editors. Just manually keep all your files somewhere else. Perhaps on there. That's a project for another day. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.